Hello, book lovers, book friends, people, whoever you are. Um, this is another update of my recent book finds, and I think this is a couple of weeks of books buying. Um, we'll see. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here. Gonna end off with some graphic novels, which I'm getting more and more into. So expect to see more of that, maybe, hopefully, if I can afford it, because they're not, cheap. They're at times pretty expensive. Anyway, let's start. Last video I showed some Harry Camelman novels about the Rabbi. Found another one. This is Saturday the Rabbi Went Hungry, a detective novel. From the 60s, 70s, 60s, yeah, 1966. Had to pick this up. Don't know if it's any good, but we'll see. This one I picked up because it's an older edition than the one I already have. And I've read that one and I love it. And it's Ian Fleming's Diamonds Are Forever. This is an original 1964 edition. The book is from 1956, but I have the movie edition book, and this is an older version, and it's a nice version. It's a good book. If you haven't read Ian Fleming and you only know James Bond from the movies, this is a lot more harder edged and pretty different from the movies that were based on his books. Gonna end my that's three sort of pulp novel things with this one. This is the movie tie-in of Battlestar Galactica. I just saw this, and from my childhood I was a huge Battlestar Galactica fan. This is from the old school series, not the newer series. It's got pictures inside of the Cylon and more pictures and even more pictures and spacecraft. So yeah, we'll see what this is about. Sort of a space opera story if you don't know Battlestar Galactica, but yeah, I was a huge fan of the series. So finding the movie tie-in or the film tie-in on paperback in pretty decent to good edition, I'm happy. Had to pick up this one as well. This is the Tao of Pooh, which is a easier to swallow version of the Tao of Wu. Let's see. I don't know what precisely what it's about. It's very spiritual, and it sort of tells you about the Chinese principles of Taoism, in the words of Winnie the Pooh, which is, easy to swallow for me. It's got little Winnie the Pooh drawings. So it's a lot cuter and more interesting, I guess, for me. So yeah, getting myself into some spiritualism. Also picked up Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad, which is a very small book. I thought this would be bigger, but it's not. So this should be a short read. I don't know if it's going to be an easy read, but I really want to read Heart of Darkness, which was the basis of Apocalypse Now, and I just want to see what all the fuss was about. This is, as it says here, a classic. And these Penguin Popular Classic series, they're a good way to get into classic novels. And like most, if not all, of the books I'm going to show today, it's a Goodwill find. This is Charles Bukowski's Women, but the Dutch edition. You never ever see Charles Bukowski in Dutch Goodwills. It's pretty hard to get original UK or original English language copies, but this I just had to pick up. I'm going to see if the Dutch translation is any good. But yeah, if you don't know Charles Bukowski, as you can see, there's a huge bottle and there's a woman there. He was an alcoholic, poet, womanizer, kind of, I don't know really. He lived a dark life, and he wrote about the dark life he lived in. So this is not a happy book, I know that for sure. But it's Bukowski, and he's brilliant in his darkness, I guess. Picked up this one, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. This is the movie edition from 2005, when the movie was made. It's got, like the Battlestar Galactica book I just showed, it's got pictures. It's got, look, if you're watching, look, a robot. This is Marvin the Paranoid Android. Really enjoyed the movie, so gonna see if the book is as classic as people describe it to be. It's got, I think, a little extra in here that he did especially for the movie. I don't really know. But yeah, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. This one I picked up yesterday when I went to Amsterdam for the independent label market, which I talked about in my vinyl update. It was a book I really wanted, and I quickly picked it up. This is Neuromancer by William Gibson. It's a cyberpunk novel about data thieves and hackers, and sort of, but different kind of hackers. It takes place in a future, or a future type world. I don't know, but this was a good price, and I wanted this. So that's William Gibson's Neuromancer. Also, Back to Goodwill is this. This is Richard Backman's The Regulators. Richard Backman is Stephen King. It says there, Lean and Mean by Stephen King's pseudonym. And I always pick up Stephen King if it's in really good state, and this one is in perfect state. So you have to pick it up and read it. This one I bought in a bookstore in Amsterdam a couple of weeks back. Again, a novel I really wanted. It's going to be a tough read because it's partially in Scottish dialect. That's Trainspotting by Irvine Welsh. Yeah, if you've seen the movie, you know what it's about. It's about, people, drugs, craziness. I don't know what that was. That's outside. It scared the shit out of me. Anyway, Trainspotting by Irvine Welsh. Had to pick it up. Last book update, I showed a book by James Worthy. I did receive a comment asking that the person who asked it didn't know that it was published in America. I am from Holland. So he withdrew the question, and yeah, I don't know. I show English books, so it's an obvious thing thinking that I am from England or America, but I'm not. Anyway, James Worthy showed a book of his in my last update. This is the last book he published so far, SWAT to Sylvester, which is a odd little story, I believe. I haven't read it, but the synopsis is just wonderful. It's about a guy who's a young boy, he's got an incurable disease, and he has one wish, that he wants to be the biggest serial killer in the area of Amsterdam. He can do it, but his father wants his wish to come true, so he becomes Black Sylvester, Zwarte Sylvester. And I don't know what it's going to be like. Is it more of a thriller, or is it really like American Psycho-ish? I don't know, but I'm intrigued. I love the cover, Crying Baby, and that is James Worthy. He wrote it, and I don't know if he's going to be a Dutch classic writer, but so far his stuff is interesting enough at least. That's also Goodwill. This is also Goodwill. Dune by Frank Herbert. This is a pristine copy, just hardly read, and it's cost me €1.20. Had to pick it up. This is the original story where it started. It's pretty thick and supposedly very technical and very, science fiction as in science. So we'll see. The movie was interesting, a little flawed, I believe, but I'm interested in the story. This one I picked up reasonably, or most recent. Jesus, reasonably. English not good. The last Goodwill haul that I did, I picked up this book. This is Douglas Rushkoff's The Ecstasy Club, which is about a group of people starting a club, a techno club or something like that. And it's drugs and it's stuff like that, interested. It says here, a brilliant fictional account of the rise and fall of a rave club. But it deals more with drugs, I believe. That's why it's called the Ecstasy Club. But I'm intrigued by that. Also intrigued by the book on the movie Into the Wild by John Krakauer. The movie I enjoyed, wasn't brilliant, but it was a pretty good movie. The story was intriguing. Someone just severing ties with his past, cutting up his credit card, and just going into the wild and hoping to survive. But yeah, I saw this again, something I just want to read. There's too much I want to read, but I just keep buying books. Sorry. This is 12 by Nick MacDonald. Another book about drugs. I tend to lean towards those, the crazy drug books. And it's got a quote from Hunter S. Thompson on it, which says, Nick MacDonald is the real thing. I'm afraid that he will do for his generation what I did for mine. So you know what that is about, I guess. I don't know much about the story, but I was intrigued by the cover, and it only cost me €1.50, €1.50. So I had to pick it up. I try not to pick up Dutch editions of English books unless it's unavoidable. like the Charles Bukowski book I just showed. Same goes with this. This is the Book van Bloed, or the Books of Blood. It's all of the Books of Blood combined. Pretty thick, pretty massive. Clive Barker released 6 volumes of the Books of Blood. Short stories, short horror stories, and this is the Dutch compiled edition, and I just had to have this. Yeah. The strange thing is that I don't know which story is which story in English, because they're all Dutch. They all have Dutch titles. The English titles are not mentioned. But I don't care. I'm going to read it. I read my first Clive Barker, most recently Damnation Game, and I loved it. So I'm going to read this as well. Not now. Too busy. Okay, those were the books. Now on to the graphic novels. There's like 5 of those. I'm going to go through them pretty quickly. This is a Goodwill find. Zombie Survival Guide, Recorded Attacks by Max Brook, which is the author of World War Z, and it's zombies, and the backstories on the zombie virus and stuff. I don't know if I should show it. It's pretty graphic. I can quickly show this. There's a frozen zombie. It's pretty cool drawings, but I just had to pick this up. Couldn't leave these behind. Couldn't leave this behind. That's what I'm supposed to say. So it sort of tells you of, recorded attacks in zombie history. Nothing weird about that, is it? And also yesterday when I bought Neuromancer, I also picked up this book, and that is Black Hole by Charles Burns. Graphic novel set in the 70s, and it's dark and morbid and strange, and it's beautifully drawn. About mutated teenagers. In short, that's what it's about. I don't know the backstory. I just don't want to know it right now. I want to know it when I'm reading it. This is the complete book, and I am crazy for reading this. I am crazy. No, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, then the last 3 books, I'm going to show them in one row. It's the Tank Girl first, second, and third bundles of stories that were drawn by Jamie Hewlett and Martin, Alan Martin, yeah. If you enjoy the graphic art that Jamie Hewlett does with the gorillas, it's sort of in here, but it's just I can't show all of it. It's kind of naughty. But yeah, this is just wonderful stuff. Beautifully drawn. At times, very psychedelic. And just violent and crazy and just interesting. There's more volumes, but Jamie Hewlett didn't draw them. I might check those out. I might check out more of these books, because this was part of a comic book series or comic book weekly. in the UK called 2000 AD, and they release more of these bundles. Judge Dredd is one of them, and there's more. I don't know. I have to check those out. Like I said, I'm getting more and more into graphic novels, and this is one of them. So that's it. That's the update. It's 20 minutes. A lot of books. See you later. Bye-bye.